Alright, what's up everybody? Decided to make a new video for you guys for sections 5.4 and 5.5. That's completing the square, and the other one would be complex numbers. So before we get started, check out my shirt. Yes, awesome, right? Anyway, so I'm gonna show you guys these pictures. This is the sriracha owner guy. He's actually like that short. So these are like cutouts of him, and they have like sriracha ice cream. It's like the voucher and like the hairnet, and then that's like the real dude. So we met the real dude. That's pretty awesome. So yeah. Anyways, I'll actually put up a link into the description if you guys want to check it out. So if you guys want to sign up for a tour, I think they're doing it for another like 3 weeks. So if you guys want to do that, you can, and I'll put that in the link description. Alright, so let's get to it. Here's A and B, and I picked A and B directly off of the homework so that you could actually probably get those questions done. So I don't know if you guys know that I've done this for you guys, but on my website there's actually our advanced algebra resource, and you can find the textbook here too, and that's what I typically do because I don't want to carry around my textbook. Yeah, so you can then pull up the page here, and the page was 345 or something, and that would be for this one, 345, and I'm going to do number 37. That's the first one. And the other one that I'm going to do for B is number 10. Okay. Alright, so for A, let's go through this one. We want to complete the square, right? Now, before we can complete the square, we got to do one thing. And we want to subtract 25 from both sides. And the reason why I'm doing that is just so it clears it off, so we only have to deal with that one section. So that leaves it h of x minus 25 is equal to 2x squared plus 6x, and the 25 is gone now. Alright, now the next part that I can do here is I can't complete the square until I just have an x squared. I just want a 1x squared. I don't want anything else with it. I just want the 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out the 2, and this is going to become x squared plus 6, x squared plus 3x. Okay, and everything on this side is still the same. H of x minus 25. Okay, so the next part I'm going to do is I want to complete the square here. So to complete the square for this part, we normally want something here, right, inside here. Now the reason why this is a little different and it's kind of weird is that you're going to have to add inside the parentheses. Okay, so let's see, we still have minus 25, which is equal to 2 times x squared plus 3x plus, well, what do we want to add here? We want to add 9, or sorry, not 9. We want to add, okay, so we want to add 3 over 2 squared to both sides. I didn't realize this is going to be a fraction. Okay. Alright, so I'll go ahead and change that over, and let me write out some work here so that it saves time. Alright, so I did some more work here so that we didn't have to waste the time. So what happened is that over here, right, we said we wanted to have b over 2. So if this was an even number like 4, we would normally have something like 2 and then square that number. But since it's odd, it makes it a little more difficult. So we take 3 and then we take half that, so it's 3 over 2, and we square it, and we put it right here. Okay, so 3 over 2 squared. Now we want to add that amount, but did we really add that amount to that side, or did we add something else? Well, if you think about it, we also have this 2 here that gets multiplied into it. So if I multiplied the 2 out, and here I changed 3 over 2 squared to 9 over 4, if I multiply the 2 into it, what did I really add? I added 18 over 4 to both sides. Right? And the reason for that is that the 2 on the outside is still multiplying to this 3 over 2 squared. And if you put the 2 back onto it, you've added 18 over 4. Just like right here in this position, what did we add to here? We added 18 over 4. And the same thing can be done to both sides. So I added 18 over 4 to both sides. Okay, so to finish this, you have to bring this back to a factor of 2 parentheses. Now, we need to figure out what it is squared. It's going to be x plus something squared. And we always know, or the trick to it is that whatever is squared, the x plus something squared, is always half of whatever b is. Now remember we pulled the 2 out, so we're thinking back to this one. So what's half of 3? 3 over 2. Okay, so 2 parentheses x plus 3 over 2 squared. And that takes care of all of that on the right hand side, is equal to h of x negative 25 plus 18 over 4. 18 over 4 is 4.5. So that leaves me with negative 20.5. I'll put negative 20.5 to save time. So I'm going to add 20.5 to both sides. And that should leave me with h of x is equal to 2 parentheses x plus 3 over 2 parentheses squared plus 20.5. Alright, so this is probably the most complicated one that you'll get, and there's 2 reasons why. Is that you have to factor out the 2, and after you factor out, this is an odd number. And because it's an odd number, it makes it a lot more difficult, because now you have to deal with fractions. Anytime it's an even number, like 4 or 6 or 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, those things are all divisible by 2. So then you'll have a nice whole integer to square to put here. Okay. In this case, you have a fraction, so it's like the absolute hardest this problem can get. And then you can go ahead and to figure out how much did you really add to this side, you have to multiply the 2 back in. And that shows you that you added 18 over 4, which is what you put over here, right? 2x squared plus 6x plus 18 over 4. So you have to have that on both sides. Then it's just like normal, but you have to deal with fractions. Alright, so that is a really difficult problem. So aren't you glad I did it for you guys? Alright, so that should be that one. And let me see if there's anything else that that question asks for. Just vertex form, identify the vertex. You guys can identify the vertex. The vertex is negative, so 3 over 2 to the left, so it's negative 3 over 2, comma, and then what's the k? 20.5. So 20.5. Okay, so that's the vertex. Alright, so for B, this is what I want to look at, is if we look at things that are with eyes, these 2 things are with eyes. So I want to make these 2 things look like each other. So how can I get this to look like 6i? What can I multiply negative 24 by to make it positive 6? Well, 24 divided by 4 would give me 6, but this would still be negative. So how about 24 divided by negative 4? In other words, what if y equals negative 1 over 4? In other words, divide by negative 4. Okay, so we'll try that one. And then we also want to try this. Here are my Temple City colors coming out. Green and gold, negative 2x, and I want to make that look like negative 14. So this one was yellow, and this one will be green. So how can I get negative 2x to be negative 14? Well, I would make x 7. Okay, let's see if that works. Alright, so I have negative 2 times 7 plus 6i is equal to negative 24 over negative 4 times I minus 14. Okay, that gives me negative 14, positive 6i. Okay, that's good. This gives me positive 6i minus 14. Okay, so these two are the same because I can move them left and right, just like 2 minus 3 is the same as negative 3 plus 2. So this becomes negative 14 plus 6i is equal to negative 14 plus 6i. Alright, so this is how you would do B. It's problem number 10. Okay, so right now I'm going to add an extra part to this, not A or B. I'm going to throw in just a couple. I want to talk about complex numbers a little bit, so let me just open a new one. Alright, so whenever we have something like the square root of 72, the square root of 72 really is the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. Now if you really wanted to multiply these two, you would get the square root of 72. You could also break apart 72 into this. 72 breaks apart into 36 and 2, and this breaks apart into 6 and 6. 6 and 6. And then you can find your factors. The square root of 72 is equal to the square root of 6 times 6 times 2. Okay, and then anytime you have pairs inside square roots, you can take them out. Okay, so I'm going to take it out, and it's going to be 6 square root 2. Okay, that would be the answer if we did it that way. Now if we did it this way, square root of 36 times square root of 2, what's the square root of 36? Well, it's just 6 times the square root of 2, so 6 square root of 2. So regardless, you get the same answer no matter which way you think about it, right? You can break apart the factors into square root of something times square root of something. Now if I had the square root of negative 72, I'm going to think about it as always I pull out the square root of negative 1. So the square root of negative 1 times the square root of, well, what makes 72? Square root of 36 times the square root of 2. Okay, now remember that I, the imaginary number, is equal to the square root of negative 1. And that's your goal in like almost all of these, is try to find the square root of negative 1 to take out. Alright, so this becomes I. And then, let's go back to black. This becomes 6, so I times 6. And this becomes square root of 2. And these things are all being multiplied together. Okay, so the negative square root of negative 72 is equal to I times 6 times square root of 2. So that should leave you with 6 times I square root of 2. And that's your answer. 6i square root of 2, if you wanted to simplify it. Okay, so the imaginary number stuff we're going to work on some more next class. And then we're also going to do some quadratic formula stuff. We're trying to move a little faster because we need to catch up, but I'm going to keep putting these videos for these chapters so that we can move at a good pace. Yeah, alright, let me know if you guys have questions. Write down a couple questions at the end of your homework, which ones you want to ask. I'll probably do 20 minutes next class for like homework. So yeah, I'll see you guys in class. I'll also post up the sriracha thing, so if you guys want to go do it, it's free. It's fun. You get to bring as many people as you want, so I'll put it up. Alright, see you guys in class.